Hello and welcome to the Power Life Podcast. I'm your host, Sabina Schöpke, serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, iron sister, and badass manifester. Think of this podcast as your weekly dose of gelato with a shot of whiskey, fueling your week with empowering and exciting insights into your mind to help you create massive success in your life. So let's dig in. Let's talk mindset, manifestation, and money. In today's episode, I'll be sharing more stories that make up my journey, where I came from, and how I got here. I will explain how I overcame my struggles in order to create the life that I love today. At this point, the purpose of my life is to free people like you, who want to be freed from their own limitations. Today, I know that the effect I have on people is my most valuable currency. I see how it affects people wherever I go. It is so beautiful, and keeping it to myself would definitely be a crime. But it's not always been like that. I've not always been so self-aware, so self-secure, or happy. I have been through the ringer as far as trauma, abuse, and loss goes. But it turns out to be a beautiful story. And the point I want to make right now is that it does not matter where you are today. Your circumstances or your past do not define you or your future. At least not in the way that you might think right now. You do have the power to change the narrative of your story at any given moment in time. And I am proof that this is true. I left Germany on my own when I was 17 and went to Canada. I learned English and went to school there. I will go into details of how the next 35 years unfolded and the golden nuggets I got from it all. However, I can tell you right now that it included homelessness, my first $1 million company when I was 22, sexual abuse when I was much younger than that, and being stuck in an emotionally and verbally abusive relationship for many years. Financially, I lost it all twice. I fought infertility for a number of years, but ended up with beautiful and healthy twins, which even today, 20 years later, I still call my miracle babies. I built a number of $1 million companies. 4 years ago, I was attacked, beaten, and almost raped in my own home. 10 years ago, I had reconstructive surgery of my face after my little brother had swung a construction shovel in my face over 30 years before that. So I lived with a lot of trauma and insecurities for way too many years of my life. And I know what it means to have cancer. So this is just a little screenshot of my life. Like I said, we will go into more juicy details as this podcast unfolds. Because believe it or not, but each experience holds the key to a beautiful and valuable lesson. And I want you to be able to see yourself in my stories. Of course, your traumas and life stories are different, but I bet we do share some of the same experiences and feelings. And more importantly, it allows you to see that it does not matter what we go through or what the details of our pasts are. It is most important to realize that we can change the thoughts about our circumstances at any given point, no matter how terrible they are, and that you're not alone in this. I think it is important to let each other know that we're here and reminding each other that we are all a part of a larger self and that we can learn things from one another. With this podcast, I'm willing to risk being seen in all of my glory on one side and all of my shortcomings, insecurities, and mistakes on the other side. And while I'm hoping to help others by sharing my stories, I've also learned that you find real peace when you let the armor go. Most of us have wounds that keep us guarded and blocked. We're literally emotionally and mentally imprisoned. Because being wounded like that blocks our hearts and blocks us from being courageous with our actions. It blocks us from living a life in peace and freedom. Like so many, I suffered emotionally for so many years until I finally started my healing journey. The biggest thing I realized is that in order to mend our wounds, we need to create new meanings around our wounds from the past. This will create a sense of peace, clarity, and freedom in the present and the future. This is what I call a mindset of healing. I have also proven that you can be very successful and still not be happy. Because another truth is that you cannot be happy without healing. You can be successful, but it won't make you happy. My success was fueled by an obsession to prove to all kinds of people that I was enough, that I was smart enough, strong enough, courageous enough. But every time I reached one of my goals, I was actually even more disappointed and frustrated. I wasn't happy at all because I was trying to find peace and happiness on the outside. Actually, from the very same people who had caused those insecurities and wounds in the first place. Not the solution, let me tell you. For me, happiness was finally achieved when I mended and healed my own experiences, when I discovered what my true talents and gifts were, when I could transform the terrible things that I had experienced into gifts that could serve others. Gifts that, combined with my talents, can have an impact on the people around me. It's a hard process that takes time, effort, and patience. But when it is finally happening, it is the most beautiful feeling when you feel your heart opening up. When you're no longer afraid. When you feel whole. When you recognize your triggers, but you no longer act on them. When you're no longer a prisoner to your triggers, emotions, and all the emotional havoc that comes with those wounded feelings. When there's peace and freedom to be exactly who you were always meant to be. Remember how I said at the beginning that your past does not define you, your present, or your future? As you can see, that's actually not true at all. Greatness does not come from having everything go right. Greatness comes from suffering. Lewis Howes actually talks about greatness so beautifully. Greatness comes from discovering our talents and gifts and then using them to pursue our dreams, while impacting the people around us. Basically, serving humanity with our talents and gifts. So the formula is to mend our wounds, create new meaning from that, and then move into the world serving others. It's a tall order, but as you know, there's a lot of brokenness in this world. You need to do the work for your sake to live a happier life, and for the sake of the people around you who really need your help. In this podcast, we will dive into the practical aspects of what that means, the how-to of changing your mindset in order to heal your experiences and change your narrative, so you can live a happier, more peaceful life that is filled with love, joy, and freedom. If you're ready to change your narrative in order to change your life, and if you want to start benefiting from the shit life has dealt you, start doing the work. Log into my membership program at thepowerlifecoach.com, and I will guide you through the process alongside the podcast by asking you powerful questions that will change your mindset so you can live the life you want. Make the money that you want to make and attract the love and joy that you desire.
Join our life-transforming membership program to achieve your most ambitious goals by breaking through limiting beliefs and developing empowering habits. Our program is not just motivational speeches or self-help books, but a comprehensive system that has helped thousands of people overcome obstacles, build confidence, and create lasting change. With our program, you don't need expensive one-on-one coaching. It covers various areas such as relationships, productivity, well-being, and income. It's complemented by our podcast to give you even more insights and inspiration on the go. Visit thepowerlifecoach.com now and start living the life and dreams you deserve with our program.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. I hope you had as much fun listening as I did recording. I would love to hear from you, so drop me a line. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Until next time, be curious, kick some ass, and may your explorations bring you joy. Talk with you soon.